I'm just like y'all.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing this for years, and a lot of people think being that I've been in this so long and I've met different people that I'm at a certain stature, and it's like, nah, I just have the blessing to be around these people. But
I think a lot of it is putting yourself in a community of people that inspire you and that also push you. And that was, I was lucky enough to be going to Berklee and having that.
And that's why I think my sound is changing a little bit more now too, is because I started seeing it as less of like a release or like this thing where you toss your negative feelings into, and more of an expression overall.
Artists, producers, instrumentalists, and creatives, talking to musicians of all kinds.
My response to anybody is like, when they be like, yo, bro, you there, you making it, you right there, or you're up already. I'll be like, bro, I'm not nowhere yet. Like I'm because I know where I want to be. And even when I get to that point, I'm gonna be the type to be like, yo, let me reach down and grab as many people as I can, because I want them to feel what I feel. Like I want them to know I'm just like y'all.
Yeah.
Like, I've been doing this for years, and a lot of people think being that I've been in this so long and I've met different people that I'm at a certain stature, and it's like, nah, I just have the blessing to be around these people. But when I leave that, wherever I'm at, that arena, that venue, I go back home to an apartment with my son, my grandmother. I'm regular, bro. Going to work the next day. I just make music. Real talk.
So your son, that's obviously a big part of everybody's life, is what they bring into this world. You not only brought music into this world, but you brought another life into this world. Mm-hmm. How has that changed your approach to not only making the music, but the content that you put in the music?
Honestly, it helped me realize that I have something I need to do this for, okay, now I'm making this music, but I know what music obviously comes with, once you get to a certain point. And it's like, I want to be able to fend for my child, okay, now it's more than just a hobby or just something I love to do. It's also a way to give my son whatever he needs, or help build a foundation for my son to have whatever he needs by my talent and putting it out there as a business. Okay, listen, now I'm doing music. I have gateways and ways to get in the game for real and make money off this. Now I gotta go even harder because I have a kid. And obviously the money from the music, I'm gonna invest into other things like properties and, businesses, all type of stuff. So whereas when he gets to a certain age, he's good. Like, he don't even gotta worry. He don't have to do music. He could do it for fun if he wants to. That type of sound, bro.
I think a lot of it is putting yourself in a community of people that inspire you and that also push you. And that was, I was lucky enough to be going to Berklee and having that, so I think getting a chance to play, to push myself. And then I took some production classes that kind of helped me to, when you're starting anything, especially something like production that seems so deep and kind of daunting, I was wondering if it was something that I could do. But having some of those classes, and I had some important teachers who kind of showed me some things that allowed me to then start just working on my own. And, I did this beat a day thing over during the pandemic that really helped me to start developing my own sound as a producer. It was a process of allowing myself to let some of those things sink in that I wanted to be doing that I didn't get a chance to do on the first record. This was me maybe expressing myself to a larger extent. The question is, what is the message? I think that's such an interesting part of what you have the opportunity to do as a musician, but also, when you look at film or visual arts, it's like the story that you tell. And I think more and more, I'm interested in the impressions that you can give someone rather than saying exactly what it is that you're thinking or that you're saying, this is what the song is about. I think that's been more the turn that way. But on that first EP, I think, there was different things that I was trying to talk about. But I do think it's important to make music and then also leave it up to whoever's listening to kind of see what they gain from it. And it's always interesting to hear from people what they take away from the songs, because I think it's when you press play on the record that you have a chance to say something. You know, it's like whatever you say after the fact, it's like, okay, cool. But what happened when that person was listening, and what was that process?
Yeah, some people take that approach and they end up creating for the moment. And some people take that approach and they end up trying to create like timeless pieces, and they end up succeeding sometimes.
Yeah.
Are you trying to create timeless music? Because I could picture myself listening to this years in the past and years in the future, and it would still sound amazing.
Thank you, man. I don't know that I've thought about it in those terms. I think inevitably the goal is for the music to last beyond the time that it's in. You know, I think you want that music to resonate, because I think that's the reason why I wanted to make music, is because of the way that I feel when I would hear a song that just gets you on a level where it almost doesn't feel like you're listening to music. You know, it feels like you're having another out-of-body experience, or you're able to just go through a lot of different emotions, or you want to dance, whatever it is. Like, Can't Keep Checking My Phone is a song by Unknown Mortal Orchestra that when I heard it, I was just like, what? This is unbelievable. So that's, I think, the goal as a musician, is that to have songs that hit people in a way where you feel a connection to that song. And even if you listen to it a bunch or whatever it is, and maybe that initial feeling starts to fade, you still always can go back to it and feel like there's something there. So that's a great question. I think inevitably that is the goal for me, at least, you know, that it resonates and that it continues to.
It was interesting, right? It was a setback, but it wasn't really. Right? It was weird, where I found myself in like a darker place. It was actually prior to COVID, right? I found myself in one of the darkest spaces that I had been in my life, as far as personal and my thoughts go. And it was a weird space I was in, because it coincided with like a writer's block situation. So it's an interesting thing where what you use as your filter for these negative feelings for so long, you can't use it anymore, because I'm unable to write at this point. So that it becomes even darker, right? And it became even harder. And that's just when, like, in those moments though, I feel like in those moments I just fall back on my faith, right? So I'm a Christian. I believe in God. That's what I fall back in. I mean, in the good and the bad moments. So I think because of that, it ended up turning that situation where I was like, you know, I'm gonna rely less on the music, and that's why I think my sound is changing a little bit more now too. Is because I started seeing it as less of like a release, or like this thing where you toss your negative feelings into, and more of an expression overall. Because I was just like, I'm not gonna allow myself to have this sort of mentality or this mindset where I'm just thinking negative thoughts all the time, because now I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna just, like, God got that. He can handle that. I'm gonna just live life based on how I'm supposed to, or how I'm led to live, and then let that fall into place. Which is why I feel like, I think that helped me find myself more, actually.
Hey everybody, Brandon Otis here. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button. Join the conversation in the comments. Share this video with anybody you think it would help, and subscribe if you don't want to miss the next one. Also, visit us at hearthatmusic.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter. See you in the next video.